Good afternoon. You guys know who I am. I want to talk today. Here in a minute, I'll get started. I'll let some people come online. You know how it is. But today, we're going to talk about lack of transparency in our government. I live in Lake County, Illinois. So specifically, I'm going to talk about Lake County, Illinois. The swamp is thick up here, let me tell you. So I want to go back and review an incident that occurred on March 16th at approximately 11:33 in the morning. As many of you well know, I've had a family court case here in Lake County since July of 2014, where I filed for divorce from my now ex-wife. And through that process, that's what really got me involved in being an activist to reform family law, because I saw the impropriety that was occurring. I saw, as really I broadened my knowledge and began interacting with people all across this country and really across the world, I began to see just how corrupt this system is. And the longer I've been in it, the more I have learned and the more I have seen. And it's sickening. It's absolutely sickening what's happening in our country. So back in March, I conducted a federal removal. Okay. I removed my case out of state court into federal court. Federal court had jurisdiction. Now that was completed in first week of March. I filed on March 1st in federal court in Chicago, but because Lake County shifted to e-filing only, I was having some technical difficulties getting the filing completed. And I ended up having to go into the courthouse on the 8th of March and get assistance from them. So I got assistance from them on the 8th of March, and the case was removed. The clerk that assisted me in that manner told me that all future court dates would be stricken from the record, or from the calendar rather, and until it was remanded back to state court, that I wouldn't have any court dates. That was March 8th. There was a court date scheduled for March 12th. So, per what the clerk told me, the March 12th court date was canceled. Well, they reopened the case without my knowledge, didn't know about it. They reopened the case on March 12th, and they had a court hearing without me present. And in doing so, they restricted access to my daughter, okay, for no justification other than I communicated to my ex-wife that we would look at revising the parenting plan so that my daughter didn't have to come every every Monday, Thursday, Friday, and we could just look at doing something a little different. Well, what they've done is they cut off all contact, okay? Again, in a hearing where I wasn't even present and where I was told that it was canceled. Now, this gets me kind of to the heart of the matter here. On March 16th, 3/16 of this year, I went to the Lake County Courthouse, down to the clerk's office, to visit with the same clerks that told me that the future court dates would be canceled. Now, I requested the names of the employees responsible for reopening my case. So they had to reopen my case, even though federal court had jurisdiction at that time. Here's where it got interesting. As soon as I requested the employees' names, they sounded a panic alarm in the clerk's office, a silent alarm. They hit a silent alarm and they surrounded me with anywhere from 6 to 8 court deputies, sheriff's deputies in that courthouse. And I knew that something was going on, right? I saw it. I posted the video online and I saw what was happening, and I knew something improper is occurring. So I began recording for my own safety. Deputies appear on scene, okay, and get right to me. They start demanding my name, where I live, just different things, right? Different information they were demanding from me, as well as demanding for me to shut off my cell phone. And I politely refused because I did fear for my safety in that case, because Lake County has used intimidation tactics before on me, and I've seen them do it with other people as well. Lake County is notorious here for using intimidation tactics inside the courthouse to intimidate people, even if they're peaceful. And I'll reshare the video, and you can judge for yourself if I was respectful and if I was peaceful. And see, did it warrant them sounding a panic alarm and surrounding me with court deputies? Now, one of the sheriff's deputies told me that I needed to shut off my cell phone, and if I wanted footage, that I could FOIA that footage. Well, again, I politely declined, and here's why. We requested the footage from the courthouse, and this is really interesting. They denied the request to provide the camera or the body cam footage from the sheriff's deputies. Here's what they cited. 5 ILCS 140/7-1A, Supreme Court Rule 6, or that one, as well as Supreme Court Rule 63. Quote, and this is what they put in the letter, which provides that all recordings from security cameras monitoring court facilities are the property of the local court circuit or circuit court and are deemed to be in the possession of the local circuit courts, notwithstanding actual possession by another party. Okay, so who possesses the body cam footage of sheriff's deputies? Does the circuit court possess that, or does the sheriff's department possess that? Are these not two separate branches of government? As such, the circuit courts are not subject to the Illinois FOIA 5 ILCS 140/2. They requested from the chief judge, I believe his name is J.W. Ukina right now, is the new chief judge, denied the request to release the footage from sheriff's deputies. So, number one, I have to question, who do they work for? Do the Lake County Sheriff's Department work for the 19th Judicial Circuit, or do they work for the Sheriff of Lake County, Sheriff Mark Curran? Right now, it's unclear to me who they work for. But what's even more troubling is this language, that all recordings from security cameras monitoring court facilities are the property of the local circuit courts and are deemed to be in the possession of the local circuit courts, notwithstanding actual possession by another party. No transparency here. This is the problem in Illinois. This is why people are pissed off at politicians and they don't trust their government. What do they have to hide here? Lake County, I want to know what you have to hide right now. If there was no impropriety on the part of your sheriff's deputies inside that courthouse, if there was no impropriety on the part of your clerk's office sounding a panic alarm to use intimidation tactics to scare peaceful citizens out of the courthouse and prevent them from requesting public information about their court case, what do you have to hide? I want to know what Lake County is hiding, because I'll tell you what they're hiding, because I've witnessed it and I've experienced it myself, which is why partly I'm running for governor. State Journal Register just recently published an article of an interview they did with me. I encourage you to read that article. The swamp is deep, and inside that swamp, the rats want to hide in the dark. They don't want light. They don't want transparency, because then Illinois citizens are going to see exactly what is transpiring inside these courts. They are cycling our children through these courts for profit. They are trampling constitutionally protected rights. They're throwing men and women in debtors' prisons every single day under the guise of contempt, the contempt authority of the court. They're using that just like they did in McHenry County, where the judge put Tom Doheny in prison, put him in jail, in a jail cell, when he couldn't afford $20,000 a month in child support and alimony. And then the gentleman ended up killing himself inside that jail. And now there's 4 children without a father. So I want to know from Lake County, what do you have to hide? What are you hiding? Why do we not have cameras accessible Why can't we easily access body cam footage? If the sheriff's deputies did nothing wrong, if there's no impropriety on the part of the Lake County Circuit Court and their staff, then why not release the footage to me? Because it's a footage involving myself in my court case that was fraudulently reopened on March 12th. This is why they don't want me running. They don't want me running for governor. They don't want me leaving Lake County because they don't want me getting interviewed by the press. They don't want this to be traced back to Lake County for the entire world to see what they've been doing. Destroying lives, systematically destroying lives for profit is what they do. I am the only candidate running for governor that will call this out for what it is. And this is happening all over Illinois and our country. It's happening everywhere. And it's time that men and women stood up and you were no longer afraid to talk about these issues that you're facing. This is your government not working for you. It's working against you. And they're doing it for profit. I want to shine the light on the rats that are hiding in the dark. And they don't want me to. Because they're in every, they're Republicans, they're Democrats, they're dug in deep like Georgia ticks. And to get them out of there, the world needs to see what is happening. The entire world needs to see. And look, this is how it really affects you, okay? You might not think that this is directly impacting you, but it is. Because this is a piece of your government that you're paying for. You're paying them. And they are abusing citizens every single day. These courts operate just like the one in the UK right now. If you haven't seen the case over there with this little boy, Alfie Evans, I think he's about 23 months old, 22 months old. He's very sick. And the UK court, their court and their appeals court denied the parents' request to take the child out of the hospital and go to Italy to try and get secondary care there. They refused the parents. They said it's not in the best interest of the child. That is what they do every single day. They make decisions for parents. They infringe upon a parent's right to seek out further health care for their state. The UK just did this back in the summer of 2017, resulting in the death of that child, overriding the parent's choice to seek further care to bring that child to America and try and save the life of their child. They are killing our children. They're trafficking our children. And they're using us to profit off of federal funds. You don't believe me? There's a video. Illinois Fathers for Equality has it right now. The attorney here in Lake County, whose firm represented my ex-wife, and she was their first attorney, Schlesinger and Strauss, and attorney Michael Strauss testified in front of the Restorative Justice Committee not a couple of weeks ago, testified in front of this committee that if we went to 50-50 shared parenting in this state, that the state stands to lose substantial amounts of federal funding. And it's all on tape. It's not skewed. It's not edited. It might be shortened so you can see the pertinent clip, but that's it. And this attorney, Michael Strauss, who's here in Lake County, I've talked to the guy. I'm respectful to him. I vehemently disagree with his opinion and that of the Bar Association, that 50-50 is not what is best for our kids. But they oppose that because they stand to lose the lucrative amount of money that they're siphoning out of Social Security and putting into state coffers. It goes right into the general fund. And then when it goes to the general fund, whose pensions are paid from the general fund? That's right, judges. Judges' pensions are paid right out of our general fund. So what they do is they take you as a parent, mom or a dad, and they say, you only get less than 20% of the year with your child. They deny you equal access to your child. What they don't tell you is that justifies their child support order. And then when they force that collection, they make it pass through the state's hands before it's distributed to the other parent. That then gets sent back to the federal government, and the federal government says, good job, state, on extorting those funds from that parent that you denied equal access to that child for. Here's millions of dollars out of Social Security to you, to your general fund that you can then pad the pensions of your judges with. I asked a judge about it a little over a year ago inside the Libertarian Party State Convention, and she refused to answer. She would not answer that question. This is the stuff that they don't want to tell you. We got a lot of work to do here in Illinois. And what I want to do is install cameras and audio recording closed circuit television equipment in every legislator's office in this state. I want to put it in the governor's office and the Secretary of State. I want to put it in every single courtroom in this state should have open access closed circuit television. You should be able to walk outside of your court hearing, take a $5 USB, put it into a kiosk, plug in your court case number, and walk away with an accurate audio and video record of your court hearing or any court hearing you go and view because they're public. If it's in juvenile court, if it pertains to children, then the parents should have access to the same thing and respect the child's privacy. But the parent should have access to the exact same thing in those courts. It's time that we opened up all aspects of government for public viewing. Why do we have laws that protect specific areas of our government? Why are they permitted to hide and not produce video and audio evidence that belongs to the public? The circuit court does not belong. They are not their own entity. You are owned by the public. The public funds your pensions. The public pays for the courthouse. The public pays for every staff member in there, every clerk that works in there. Every sheriff's deputy that works in that courthouse is paid by the taxpayers, including myself, in the state of Illinois. And therefore, we demand access to all audio and video recording equipment in every courthouse. As your governor, that's what I will expect, and that's what I will deliver to you. We will no longer permit any aspect of our state government to hide from the people, to hide their meetings and have closed door, backdoor handshakes and deals, and to squander away your rights and your taxpayer money. Those days need to end. There's only one candidate who's going to get it done. I'm here to tell you. That's me. The other candidates aren't going to get it done. You know why? Because it's not personal to them. That's why. It is personal to me. It's personal to me that the people of this great state are treated the way that they should be. The Fourth Amendment, the fourth branch is the strongest group. We are in the right. Not the state of Illinois. Do they freeze my feed? Yeah, they tend to do that. They don't want me talking about this. They don't want the media interviewing me about this. I'm going to leave it on my page. I want the media to interview me about this. Let's have a discussion about it. Let's have a discussion about how you're not afforded a right to an attorney or a right to a trial by jury. Let's discuss why we don't have cameras in our courtrooms. Let's discuss why attorneys are permitted to have cell phones, but litigants and citizens are not. Let's talk about why they can use intimidation and force and coercion. Let's talk about how they can do these things and not be held accountable. It's time they were held accountable. It's time immunity for all government officials was ended. Period. They should not have immunity anywhere. When you work for the people, you are not immune. When you abuse your office, you should not be immune to the repercussions that should follow for you abusing the authority that you were entrusted with. You should be drug out of there, put in shackles, and you should be put away in a dark cell. You like the dark so much, I wouldn't mind putting you there because that's where you belong. The rats like to hide in the dark, and it's time that we put them in the appropriate place. The appropriate place isn't inside a government office. trampling your rights. The appropriate place for these people that trample upon constitutionally protected rights is in a little dark cell. And the light of day that they do see should be out turning big rocks into little rocks. That's what we should be doing and holding our government officials accountable. You want them held accountable, you want the state of Illinois turned around, then I suggest you start electing people like myself that will do that exact thing. I know all areas of the state are bad. I'm here to tell you. There's not one that's worse than another, I don't personally believe. If there is, it's just simply because they have more courthouses. That's it. Transparency. We got to have it. Anytime you don't have that, you breed corruption. You set the stage for corruption to transpire. And that's what's happening. What are you going to do about it? That's what I want to know. I encourage you to call Chief Judge Jay Ukina in the 19th Judicial Circuit, Lake County Court, and ask him, email him, demand to know, why don't you release body cam footage from sheriff's deputies from an incident occurring on 3/16 on March 16th at 11:33? Why won't you release that? If you've got nothing to hide, then release the footage. Release the audio. And let's see. Let's see. Did it warrant sounding a panic alarm on me because I inquired as to which circuit clerks reopened my court case that was in federal jurisdiction and held a hearing, an ex parte hearing, without me present? They don't like me in the courthouse. They don't want me in there. They think that they want to label me as crazy. Yeah, you know what? To the corrupt, I am crazy. Because I don't succumb to their intimidation. What they're used to people doing is walking away silently and taking the abuse. That's what they're accustomed to. But when they abused my children and myself, they got somebody that they weren't prepared for. They should all lose their jobs, every last one of them. They should be fired. Not only should they be fired, but they should be tried. They should go before a trial of the people. This is what's happening in your state and all across this country. I'm going to continue the fight to the best of my ability. You guys, please share the video. Go to cash2018.com, KASH2018.com. Sign up to be a volunteer. If you want to end corruption in Illinois, then you damn well better get on a team that's going to fight to do it. You better get on board a team with an individual like myself that has the testicular and spinal fortitude to go get it done. That's not going to back down. I'll tell you what, there's not one other governor candidate that has the fortitude that I have. Period. It's not even a question. Yeah, we can't take it anymore, John. You're right. We can't take the corruption any longer. As long as we are complicit and if we're silent, it will continue. If we don't want it to continue, then you'll get on board. You will volunteer. You'll get your ass on the campaign. You'll start collecting petition signatures. Get me onto the ballot. We'll work to get me into the debates. We'll get into the debates. And we're going to give Springfield what they've never had before. We're going to give Springfield somebody who comes from the people that is going to represent the people. And that's going to go into these government offices and these courtrooms and these legislators' offices. And I'm going to go in there and I'm going to live stream them. We're going to live stream our conversations. We're going to talk about why they rule against bills. We're going to talk about it. We're going to talk about who's funding them, where their money's coming from. My money's not pouring in from any political action committee or special interest group or lobbyist. My money's pouring in from grassroots people. $3, $5, $7, whatever they can afford. It's not a lot of money, but I don't want a lot of money. I don't need it. I don't need it. I just need the support to get me around this state, get me in front of the media, get me in communities, let me talk to people. That's what I need help with. Put gas in my Ford Focus. so that I can drive my little economical car down to the southern end of Illinois and speak to people down there about the very same thing that I deal with here. I know they deal with down there. Get on board with it. I need help financially and otherwise. If you can donate to the campaign, please do. Again, $5. You hit me with $5 a month. I'm going to stretch it out. Take a look at the video on my governor page. Look at the hotel I stayed in the other night. It's $50 flat rate. I mean, it's $50, but there's like razor wire around it and concrete's all busted up out front. It looked like I was renting a room in Syria. But I do what I got to do so I can keep the fight going. You guys give me the support, help me out, and I'm going to continue fighting, okay, to the best of my ability. I'm going to keep fighting, but I got to have support to do it, okay? Thank you guys for tuning in. I hope that this pisses you off as much as it does me. Want to know, why don't we have transparency, Lake County Court? And I bet you Cook County, Will County, Kane County, you pick one, they're pretty much all going to be the same way. They don't want you seeing what's happening. They don't want people to know what's transpiring inside these government offices. They don't want you to see what's happening inside those judicial chambers. They don't want people to know. Because the people of this state and this country would be appalled if they knew what was happening to good men and women every day. And I don't want to see another parent give up hope or another man or woman unjustly ran through the ringer and due process denied them. I don't want to see that transpire anymore in this state. Period. And I'm going to fight to end it. So all of you parents out there that are alienated from your children, those grandparents out there that are alienated from your children, and you can't figure out why you can't see these kids, why you can't be actively involved in their life, why false allegations are utilized inside these courts, why perjury is never punished. If you're tired of that, then please volunteer for the campaign. Help us out. Call media, get us interviews, get us on the radio, okay? Do what you can. If you don't have money to contribute to the campaign, I got it. I understand times are tough. I get it. So help us out in other ways. Like the page, share the videos, invite your family and friends to the page, spread it. This is grassroots. These are people that are pissed off. We are the tireless minority, the irate tireless minority that is fed up with Illinois and the bullshit that they keep doing here. We're tired of it, and we want to put an end to it. I am the bulldozer that will pave that path for you. But you got to help me. You got to get on board, and you got to do it with me. Okay? I'm only one person, and I'm only capable of so much. But all of us together can turn this entire state around. The fourth branch can do it. All of us. This is Cash Jackson. I'm going to be the governor in 2018. I'm going to upset a couple of billionaires with pennies to their millions of dollars. 2018 is going to be a rude awakening for the political elite and for the wealthy. The days of you running our state and our country are coming to a close. It's the time of the people, the blue-collar, grassroots people, to run our state and to take our state back. Nobody else is going to do it, I'm here to tell you. Not the way I will. You guys be good, have a blessed day, and I'll talk with you soon.